today. Hopefully, together we'll learn how to build some games. It's going to be a lot of fun. Load this up here. So I started this new project. So last week we were in Linux, and basically I just wanted to see if I could run Unity in Linux, and we did some stuff. Today we're in Windows. We're going to see if it's better or worse. If it's not as good, then I might switch over to Linux and doing Unity in Linux. But we'll see. So here I have the karting game, and this is a very cool little micro game that we have here. And in the karting game, you can make a lot of changes in here, and that's one of the things that we did last week. And then it has these little tutorials here, and you can see that I've done a few of these tutorials. We did that last week, and apparently it carries over from Linux to Windows, which is interesting. So I'm going to do a quick tech check really quick, make sure I'm online. It looks like I am. We're good to go. And yep, just checking to make sure. And I've got chat window loaded up. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in chat. I may be able to answer them. I may not. We'll see. But one thing we'll do is we'll go through some of these tutorials first, and then I'm going to go through the learn.unity.com tutorials. So that is right here. And I did these about 1.5 years ago. So some of the stuff is probably going to be a little familiar to me, but it might also feel brand new because it's been 1.5 years, right? And last week, if you weren't on my stream last week, here's what we were doing. We were taking this little thing, this little cart, and we'll play it really quick. And we were taking this little cart and just making changes to it, right? Some of the changes that are kind of intuitive that you could see, like acceleration and braking and drift and all that kind of stuff. There we go. And then we were just kind of driving it around the track. So this is with no modifications whatsoever. Kind of lame, kind of boring. Yay, this is super fun times, right? But we're going to do something cooler. So let's load up some music here. Thanks to Harris Heller for the copyright-free streaming music today. Harris Heller's awesome, man. I've learned so much from him, not just about streaming, but video production, stuff like that. And then has these like really cool copyright-free stuff. So let's take this thing and let's do some messing around with it again. For those who weren't here last week, we're gonna go in and do this. And I'm doing another quick tech check really quick. I just want to see where everybody's at and make sure, because I haven't done one of these streams in a long time. And it looks like I'm accidentally going somewhere that I don't want to go, which is fine. There we go. Perfect. So I apologize. I'm just making sure we're in the right spot. Yep. And so I'm live on YouTube right now, which is great. Make sure, let's see, probably Facebook, I'd imagine. Not so much. That's fine. So I'm on in the places that I really care about, I think. Okay, yeah, perfect. We're good. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to jump into the chat. So I'm going to select this cart object here. Just like so. And if you look at it, we've got a bunch of things over here in this menu that we can adjust. So there's some of them are pretty obvious. Some of them are, I have no idea. So we have suspension height, steering angle, etc. Acceleration, that's the really important one, right? Just somewhere in here. There we go. So we want to change our top speed. 15, I would assume is miles per hour. I have no idea. Doesn't matter. Let's go from 15 to 55 and see what kind of change that makes. Yeehaw, this is a lot better, right? We're killing it. And last week, one of the things that I noted is that we tried to make it more realistic, right? So we tried to remove some of the grip, stuff like that, to make it seem a little more realistic. Now let's go through the tutorials here. And we're going to learn something about this little karting game. Enter play mode. What's cool about these in the tutorials that are inside Unity is it highlights the buttons you should click for everything. So we enter play mode. Oh, look at that. We're playing it again. Yeehaw! And these tutorials get a little more advanced than this. When you're done, click play again. Okay, so now we know that if we want to jump into play mode, we can just click play. Here's how we can select our cart. Select the player game object. So we've selected it. There's our top speed. We changed the top speed before. This one says increase it to 20. And click next. Control S. And then click play. So now we're going to go to 20. Which is going to seem sleepy, right? After we did 55. It's cool. It's a little faster. This is a really cool micro game. One of the things I do want to do is I want to modify the heck out of this thing. And I think it only plays on like a web-based platform or on Windows, you know, like on a desktop. I don't know if this thing works on mobile, but we'll exit play mode. There we go. Now we're going to go to editor basics. Let's try out it. In this one, select start to begin. Select the hand tool. There's the hand tool. Pan around. Very cool. We can see we have this camera that's attached to us. And actually today we will jump into a tutorial where you actually have to set that up and you have to make that work. It's pretty cool. So move the mouse to pan, orbit with the hand tool. That's where you hold down Alt and orbit. So that's something good to remember. The last time I was messing with Unity a lot, I got pretty good at the shortcuts and controls. Now I'm a little rusty. You know, honestly, I'm pretty rusty with it, but it'll all come back. It's fine. Down Alt, zoom in and out, hold down Alt and the right mouse button to zoom in and out. So this is one that I need to remember. The right mouse button to zoom in and out. Project window, where you can find all the files. And we'll go right to the next one, which is change colors. Make your game more colorful. Select the game object, so we click on Kart Classic Player, frame the cart, press F. Look at that, huh? Select the cart body game object in the project window. So, project. Let's see, karting maybe? I don't remember exactly where this is, but it's obviously going to be in like karting. Scene, script, art maybe? Models. I think it's this one. But I'm not seeing it in the tutorial, so I'm obviously not finding it. There's my wheels. It says piece, that says body. Cart body game object. All right, see if we can figure this out. We have all these packages. It's not in the packages. All models. We can search for a model. Cart, cart classic, cart idle, cart, all this stuff. Oh, it says in the art folder, assets, art. So this should be our model, right? Oops. Yeah, so I'm not sure why that thing, let's see, cart classic player, cart classic body, art, should be under there. Maybe it's materials that we're looking for. There it is. Cart body material. So now we're going to change the color. So for this, I remember we click, oh, I see, it's click here. I'm going to change this to something like dark blue. Should be cool. Actually, that doesn't look that cool. Maybe like, okay. Next, enter play mode. We'll see if our cart's blue. We can already see that it is, but they want us to click play. And now my cart is blue. One checkpoint left. Yeehaw. And we win. So after you finish testing, press play again. Now we're going to add a jump. Now it's getting exciting, right? Click start to begin. Drag prefab to scene. So we're using Alt here to look. To find this prefab, we'll pan over somewhere around here. I can see we have some roads, but we're looking for a jump. We're going to drag the jump right up. Oh, from the project window. Okay, I thought it was sitting out here somewhere. Okay, so where are we going to put the jump? Put the jump maybe here. So we have a jump ramp. Move tool. W is the move tool. You can see here we can move on all these different axes. Very cool. Move the gizmos to reposition it. Okay, one of the things I need to do is rotate it. Ooh, we can rotate on several axes, so this thing's getting all over the place because I'm still not that good at it. Okay, let's go to the hand tool. Alt. Zoom in here. I don't know how to rotate myself. That's a very good question. So that I can go and see this thing from the front. There we go. Alt key again. Select F to frame it. And this thing, we need to do some rotation to get it where we want it. Kind of have to change that angle a little bit because if it's too steep, we're not going to be able to get up it. So let's look at it from the side here. I think that's a pretty good angle. And yeah, you can rotate on all these different axes. And we want to move it down like this so that it's flush with the ground. That way we can get up on it. We'll put it right in the middle. And we'll make it flush. Looks like we do need to rotate it just a little so we don't jump off the road. And then there we go. Click next. Try the scale and rotate tools. So we did try rotate, we didn't try scale. Check out scale, we can do that. And we'll give it a little bit more ramp. We can make it wider. And we can make it longer. Cool. You can also use the rotate tool, which is E. Whoops, and now I'm rotating the road. So E is rotate. Something to remember. Scale is R. So once you start to remember these hotkeys, it can help a lot. So this is a pretty cool jump. However, I do want to move it on one of these axes here. I'd like to move it so we can get a little more speed before we hit it, right? Oh, it really wants me to use those rotate keys. We got rotate, we got the hand to move. There we go. I think this thing's ready to go. Click next. Click play. All right, we're gonna jump. This should be fun. Oof. See, I did not make it flush. I thought I made it flush, but not quite. So we're not even able to get up on it. Let's go back and change that. I gotta go through and play it again, I guess. Oh, we got it to jump that time. Let's do that again. We got some time. So it may not be flush, but if we get enough speed, we can grab it. And jump. Cool. Let's go back in here. Now we should be... Oh, yeah. Oops. Okay, we'll go back here. The next one's going to be build and publish, which we don't necessarily. We might do build and publish just for the heck of it. Let's zoom out. Let's pan over here. Do Alt and rotate. And we should, while we're in here, we should just do some other stuff. I can see where I can kind of add on stuff here. Okay, suddenly the movement is not working. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I've been complaining a lot about Windows 11. And this could be a Windows 11 problem. I don't really know. Let's go in here. We've got jump ramp. Hit F to frame it. And let's move this thing down a little bit. Go here so I can see how flush it is. There we go. Got it. We'll put it over here and then move it down again. We just want that thing flush so that we can hit it. Now let's scale it a little bit. Make it a little bit longer, make it a little steeper, and then go back to move. Look at that. Now we've got ourselves a jump. So we'll save it, press play. And I hope folks are learning things here, that as you're watching, I hope some of this stuff's starting to make sense. And I have no controls. What on earth? There we go. All right, now we can get a good run at it. We should get a pretty sweet jump out of this. Look at that. So one thing I'm going to do is we're going to jump out of the tutorials and let's move some of these roads around. And I know it's going to be tricky to line them up, but let's make some changes to our track. Add self-driving carts, design your own levels. That might be cool. The supercharge your game thing is just a bunch of different assets that you can purchase to make this cooler, which I may consider that. So see, we've got these things here. I think I'm going to add this in as part of the track. I think the way to do that is take this piece, copy it. Now we've got one here. Should be able to move it. Where did it go? Interesting. Okay, we're going to move this. Frame it and then go back. So essentially I just want to add in this other section of track. So we'll take this out. For now. And we're just going to copy paste a bunch of these. See, as long as I move it along these planes, it should stay fairly lined up, right? I mean, I think that's the big idea, is not breaking it off of that plane where it can start to get a little funky. We're going to need to move this, but as you can see, we can move it along different axes here. We can rotate it. So let's rotate it and then move it back here. That way we can keep our checkpoint intact. And this looks fairly lined up from here. We do copy, paste, paste again. And I think we've got some roads here. That's a little rough. But I'd say as long as the cart goes across it, should be fine. There's a little bit of a gap there. Let's see. I think we can deal with a gap. I think that'll be fine. Let's roll it. Now this is going to mess us up a little bit because we have to go back into that other track, and we could move the checkpoint, but oh, that was a fail. For some reason I forgot that jump was there, so I got the jump right before the checkpoint. Yeah. One thing we should do in the stream is figure out how to increase the time so that we can play around more and make the track larger. All right, I'm gonna try this again, but I'm gonna go around the jump for now, because it appears the jump sends me right off the road. I made it bigger and I made it a little cockeyed. Sometimes it be like that. There we go. Let's see if we can get through these gaps. Yeah, they're a little rough. Now we're off. So what can we do here? We've got to be able to connect this thing back. Right? So we go around these little hoops and connect it back. But we want to go through all of this because this is cool. We'll make it so you have to go through all of that and get through the checkpoints in the amount of time again. That'll be pretty cool, I think. If you have any questions, feel free to jump on the chat here. I'm going to load up LinkedIn. Make sure I don't have any chat messages, because LinkedIn ones won't show up on here. They'll only show up on LinkedIn. Can't even really see my LinkedIn stream. There it is. So make sure I don't have any chat. Yep. No chat in here so far. Okay, cool. You lose, it says. So let's take the jump and let's make the jump a little, I don't know, a little less. The jump is pretty extra right now. So let's scale that thing down, and we can go up here we can find our jump ramp to select it. And we scaled it up a little big. So let's take it, let's make it mellower. We'll move it down so it's flush. And another thing is it's a little cockeyed. So I'm gonna see if I can move myself around to the right spot. I mean, I can also select this and hit F to frame it, but we have it in frame. And I think rotate here is where I need to straighten it out a little bit. See how one dips down? That's where I think on one of these axes, there we go. Now maybe it won't push us off the road when we use it. Because we want it to be an obstacle, but not such an obstacle that we can't get past it. We want it just on the edge of impossible, ideally. That's perfect. And we go through here. We're going to need to clean that up a little bit. Even though it is kind of like a whoops, you know, like on a track, something to slow you down a little bit so you're not going too fast. So can we add a bunch of extra track and not modify the timer so that you can go through all the checkpoints? Basically, we want to make this pretty difficult. We want to add a bunch of extra track here and make it so that you have to go through more track in the same amount of time. And get these right so they touch. Right about there, it looks like. And we'll go to the next one. The next one, we want it so just so it touches. It looks like it doesn't line up perfectly. So if we move this, it'll be shifted a little bit here. I think that's okay, because that's another obstacle, right? So now let's see how smooth we can get through there. Ding, we got a checkpoint. Another checkpoint. There's a bump, and that bump sent me up, as you can see. I thought for sure I had that lined up, but see, once again, I'm starting to get to know the controls a little bit. So if we move this, it should go down so that bump isn't there. I mean, we can always put in a bump later if we want an intentional bump to slow folks down. Now let's look at our track here. We got this that goes all the way up and around here. Maybe we need to bring the track around. Yeah, somehow we need to bring the track around. So we could maybe curve it here, go here, and then do a super hairpin right to the finish. That sounds great to me. By the way, if you're watching now, I've noticed we've got quite a few viewers. If you're watching, if you have some suggestions, I'm all ears. There could be some stuff I'm overlooking, or someone might have a cool idea. I think I'm going to move my checkpoint at some point also. So now we need a another turn here. We need a left-hand turn, which I know we have because any of these can be rotated around to become a left-hand turn. So I'm going to copy, paste, and we're going to go to rotate. Now, as you can see, it's pretty close there, so this may not work quite how I like it to. Might have to go up and over, which we could do that because we have some of these that rise. These ones here. Let's take this riser one really quick and see what we can do with it. Maybe we'll go up over the track or something. Now this looks a lot smaller when it's over here. Now it's completely disappeared. So you can tell I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But thankfully, that is exactly what you all expect, right? That I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But I will. We all will. Oh, I see. I went below the plane with it. So once it goes below the plane, you can't see it anymore. So underneath this plane, I have a road. Let's move this around a little bit. There it is, right there. That's the one I drug below the plane. Can't see. I was wondering why it disappeared. Like I said, we're learning here. I'm planning on doing this for quite a while. So once I get good at Unity, I can help teach folks how to use Unity. That's the whole idea, is we're going to learn together. I'm going to build a game on here. Definitely looking for ideas for anyone that might have some on what kind of game to build. A karting game sounds good. I'm an automotive enthusiast, as some of you might know. I love this stuff, so a karting game might be exactly what we need to do. So we'll rotate this a little bit. And I'm kind of being a little picky with this, but I want it to line up without a bump, which may not be super easy, but I want this to be nice and flush, nice and lined up, ideally. And yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming onto this stream. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of game developers on right now. I noticed before I signed on, and just logged on to Twitch and noticed that there's a whole bunch of game developers. They're all more knowledgeable than me, and they're killing it. So if you're watching me right now, the beginner, when you could be watching these other people building real games, knowing stuff, I appreciate that. I think that's really cool that you go on and watch this total noob try to figure this out. Like I said, we're going to figure this stuff out together on this stream, and like 6 months from now, we're all going to be experts. We're going to laugh at these early streams, right? So now I've got another transition where we're zipping around going up, which is cool. And we're just going to go up and around again and then drop down onto this track, ideally. I'm going to save my changes. Let's just check one thing at a time. Let's check this section and make sure it's good to go and it's golden. So we're zipping around. I'm gonna go around the jump because I don't want to deal with the jump right now. There's a bump. There's a bump. Yeah, a lot of this is just lining it up. You know, it's that whole Cartesian coordinate system. We got to line it up on all of the different planes. This one, there was a little bit of a bump there. And if you notice, we're going through a tree. There's no collision detection on that tree, but we're going through a tree. So yeah, I did not get this lined up exact, but we're going to do that. I mean, a little bump isn't a big deal if we're intentionally trying to make that a part of the track, but I want this thing smooth. So let's go to the first bump we found before we address this one. And here, I just think I'm a little low. So frame this in, zoom in, and yeah, I think I'm probably just a little low. Bring it up like this. And there's probably a way to snap these things that I don't know. Let's look it up. Objects to plane, Unity. Edit grid snap settings. Okay, bring this over here. We're going to go to edit. We're going to go to grid. I don't see grid. World grid snapping. Okay, let's jump into the Unity manual. Surface snapping. Move tools active. Hold shift and control. Then click and hold. Huh. Okay, let's see if that works. Shift and control. Doesn't seem to be any different. Maybe that's just for a collider, because it does mention that. So we know this needs to go up. What I was hoping is to find a way to snap it so it just sets on that plane. Move tool. I mean, I can line it up with the other one. You can kind of see these edges here. If I get the edges there, then go down, down, down to there. So we're close. We got a little gap. We can change with this one. I have a feeling we're going to have a gap no matter what, because these things aren't perfectly lined up to start with, but there's another gap there. So we can close that, and then we'll have a little bit of a shift there, but I think, let's just try it. And again, I have no controls. Oh, I don't have the focus. There we go. So we're gonna go zipping through here. I'm gonna go around the ramp, and I already see the bump. Dang it. Oof. Should we leave the bump there? Because it might be kind of cool. I think I can rotate that out. See, strangely, I thought I fixed this, but clearly I did not. So we're just going to zoom in really close. We're going to go back, we'll go down, and in, and just kind of visually line it up. I'm looking at the little gap there. I'm not sure how good that's showing up on the stream, but I'm trying to work on this gap. And yeah, this is harder than it looks. For sure. Maybe from the top. Just start one plane at a time. Okay, that's loaded up there on that axis. Zoom in a little bit. Let's bring this in. Yeah, it's a little trickier than it looks, for sure, but we want this to be a quality, playable experience for people. Then we have to get rid of those little bumps in the track. Okay, so it seems lined up on this axis. Now we need to go here. Bring it down. See how that looks. Now over here we're goofed. And it could be one of those things where we just leave it. I have a feeling the rotate is going to come into play here, because I'm probably, yeah, see, I just made one side flush means this one, so have to rotate it up a little bit. Now this appears flush, and I bet you I'm goofy over here. A little bit. So let's try that again. Basically just trying to get it. Try a little bit more. So it snaps right between. Okay, now that looks smooth. Now this one won't be. So I'm just trying to find a good happy medium. If I have to pick one of them to be smooth, it's probably going to be the other one, because we can drop down, right? But yeah, let's just keep messing with this until I get it right. Lift that up. Rotate a little bit. See where that puts us on the other end. So yeah, I think rather than spend an hour straightening all this out, I think we'll just leave a little bump, call it good. Of course, that much of a bump will be annoying. We'll try to level it out. I'll try to move it down. And this fun stuff. I mean, this is what I think a lot of game development is a lot of tedious detail stuff, but those details add up. As you all know, when you play a game, the details really add up after a while. So if we take this, now we're going to move it up, and then we're going to rotate until it feels pretty flat. I don't think we need to rotate on that axis, but just this here. Just kind of trying to find that perfect little balance here. Let's try that. Oh, I can see I made that way too low because we've got dirt there, which actually makes kind of a cool obstacle in a way. Like, go from pavement, you go around the corner, there's dirt. Like, now you can't turn around and go back very well, but yeah, it slows down right there. But that's not acceptable. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete that one. Copy and paste another one. That way we can control this one we know is flat, right? So we're just going to take one that's already flat and see if we can put that in directly into place without a ton of modification, because I started rotating things and I got things all goofed up. So maybe just putting one of these in here. Let's zoom right in here to our area so we can see exactly where we need to go. I'm gonna take this here. Looks like it's just a little bit higher on this side. Okay, now we're flush there. I think the key is to try to do one plane at a time, basically. It looks like we're a little lower here now, which might be okay, I don't know. Yeah, that's still going to be a pretty significant bump. Yeah, no matter what we do, we're going to have a bump here, it looks like. But just try to minimize it. I mean, I could move this over a little bit. And then we'll have a shift over here. But let's for now get it good enough. Doing the jump this time. Yeehaw. All right. So this is pretty smooth. That is smooth, even though you can see a bump. But we don't care. As long as we can get through it for now, it's good. And then we're going to go all the way up and around here. All the way down and around. Then we've got another big up here. Watch out for that tree. And now we're going to make this go back over and connect to the original track again. Hopefully, this will add enough length to really add some challenge to this, right? So let's take this, we'll copy, we'll paste, move it up, move it over. F to frame it. And what I want to do is move this and line it up. So I'm going to be doing this stream. Again, thank you everyone that's watching. I'm going to do this stream again next week. I'm probably not going to broadcast it everywhere. It's probably just going to be on Twitch. So if you're not following me on Twitch, you should. Because I'm going to probably just stream on Twitch. It's a little bit easier to manage chat and stuff like that. Okay, we're pretty well lined up there, it looks like. I'll take this, copy, paste. And just add another one. All right, very cool. I've already forgotten those hotkeys to do the stuff that we need to do, but it's fine. All right, check my chat here really quick. All right, awesome. Okay. So now we're going to go here. And basically what I want to do is copy and paste. More copying and pasting. And we'll move. This goes to our checkpoint. One thing we could do here is we could do a hill to go over that checkpoint. I already got a tree in the way. Bam. That's gone. But we can use rotate. And as long as we rotate this properly, we can kind of create a gradual hill, which a hill is a good obstacle to put in anyway, right? So let's rotate this. Also, I'm going to change the music up a little bit. We're still going with Harris Heller's playlist. It's very cool. You can find it on Spotify. See, I've got several of them here. These are copyright-free music you can put in your stream. Very cool stuff. So again, we're rotating this because I'm going to create a little bit of a hill. I don't want it to be too gradual, but I want to be able to clear this. And this hill might be a little goofy because I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. There we go. Now we're clearing our... I'll lift this up a little bit. Now we're clearing our checkpoint, which is all I wanted. Just to be able to clear that checkpoint. And what's cool about hills is every hill has to come down, right? So we can make it go across the original track and then down into the finish line. So we'll give the player a little bit of a little help at the end with some downhill stuff. Now we're going to start rotating it back to level. Let's see what this looks like right now. Figure we'll probably get pretty good at lining these things up eventually. Build enough tracks, right? I've got a lot of ideas for tracks for this game. We might just spend a couple of streams like messing with this karting game because it's so fun. Now we need to start to hook around and get back down into there. So what I'll do is just grab another one of these, copy, paste, bring it up. We need to rotate it very carefully on this axis. And see, every time you move these, you just grab these little arrows and you can move it on different planes, which I feel like I'm probably disoriented and I don't know how far away I actually am from this thing. Oh yeah. Here's a good way to do it. Oops. Why is it scaling it? Or it feels like it's scaling it. Okay, and we're lined up here. See if we can get another different vantage point here. And again, I need to follow my own advice and just move one plane at a time. Because when you start doing a whole bunch of different planes, it gets a little iffy. Here. All right. Now we got to come back down somehow, which is going to require rotating this thing a lot. We should probably check and see what our time is at, whether we can actually do this track in the allotted amount of time. So we'll do that real quick. So now we're going. Here we can see all our new track over there. Going through the checkpoint. Up over the ramp. Oh, and I screwed myself a little bit, but that's fine. We've got a bump. I swear that bump wasn't there before when we went through here, but yeah, well. There we go. We'll allocate a little time for a crash. Then we go through all this stuff again. Back up, back up, back up. There's our hill. Yeah, we still got 25 seconds left. So we can definitely do this in the amount of time that we're given. So I think I'm going to take this, copy it, paste it. Whip around like this. Let's see if we can get a better vantage point. Because this one's just going to go down. We're going to rotate it a lot, I imagine. And this one's going to start the rapid descent down. Keep forgetting the F button to frame it. Okay, So we'll line it up on this axis. We'll line it up on this axis. Looks like it needs to come up just a tad, and this is where things are going to get difficult because we got to start rotating this thing. There's going to be some bumps. I guarantee it. We already kind of need some rotation to get to that. So we're rotating. Obviously, we're going to have to rotate like this. This is not going to be gradual. We might be able to copy and paste one of the down ramps over here. Like this. And just make it go. Let's just see what this one. Let's see if we can make this one work somehow. It would be, well, if we rotate it. Doesn't look like. I mean, I guess we could do this. And then do a super hairpin. Super hairpins are fun, right? If you're into racing, if we made this thing a straight, easy track, get boring pretty quick. We want curves and obstacles and hills and all that stuff. This, it's going to be a bump, and I don't think there's any way I can get around that. It's going to be a little bump, but I want it to be a bump down instead of a bump up. Now I've got to figure out how to make this work. So again, I'm holding down the Alt key on here. And we are going to jump back into tutorials here in a bit as soon as I complete this. Then I think we're going to jump into some Unity tutorial magic. And that's the ones that I did, like I said, probably a year and a half ago. I did these, and I might actually jump into Linux for the next stream because I'm noticing some pretty weird stuff here. My Windows 11 is terrible. Right now, this is starting to not work. Let's see what happens if we just play the game. We'll run through it and then try to jump back in. This will give us a good opportunity to see how those lineups, those early lineups did anyway. Bump. I'm going to leave the bump in there because we spent too much time on it already. Another bump. Got our uphill. That's a pretty significant bump, and then we've got this. So now we're back, and our movement is still absolutely slow and abysmal. And close Unity. And reopen the project. Because, yeah, this is... oh, looks like it's already open. Blah, blah, blah. See if we can get this thing to work. Reloading everything. Nope. Slow as molasses in January. Oh, there we go. Now this one at least is working. Our panning is still abysmal. But I don't think I closed Unity completely, so let's try just completely closing all the Unity. Yeah, like I said, I've been having a heck of a time with Windows 11 lately. Last couple updates, every time I update it, it seems like it gets worse and worse. And I talked about this on Twitter. I really like Windows 11, and I don't want to bash it and say that it sucks, but I've had weird issues on 2 separate machines with Windows 11 installs, and it's the same type of issues. And yeah, it's a little frustrating. Most of them have to do with some kind of video stuff, which is what this is. Almost everything video related is just being weird. So I can't pan around right now. And I don't know why. There we go. Now I can all of a sudden. I don't know. It's stupid. Oh, now I can pan. So I guess it's my lucky day. Who knows? Weird. Okay, so this gap was pretty significant earlier. We don't want it to be that significant. So this isn't too bad. This is going to be a little bit of a bump, it looks like. So there'll be a little bit of a bump in there. But then this is going to whip them all the way back around. And what is going on here? Oh, that's right. That's one of the things one of the sacrifices I had to make. It just seems so off. And part of it is, you know, I had to do that rotation. Wonder if it'd be better to, let's move this out really quick. Wonder if it'd be better to try to, I don't know, just try something different here. I guess with the height difference that we've got, I pretty much have to do something like this, some kind of weird rotation. So I'll at least bring it close and up a little bit, so don't catch that edge if you're driving. I think this will work for now. I'll probably go and refine it later in a later stream. For now, all we really want to focus on is just building a cooler, more interesting track. And I think we're accomplishing that today. Okay, zoom out a little bit. Let's just steal this one. We might have to make a super hairpin because it looks like we don't really have... Yeah, we don't have enough here. Hey, Thindle, how's it going? Don't steal, borrow. Exactly. So today I'm doing something fun. At least it's fun for me. Figuring out how to do Unity. So yeah, I don't have enough, because of where this curve is, I don't have enough to connect this. So we're going to have to do another couple of super hairpins, which is fine. We are also, Thindle, since you go to my Pluralsight stream, we're also going to be doing game development on the Pluralsight stream. Now we're going to do some JavaScript game development. David Neal's already been doing this for a while, and he really knows his stuff. But I'm going to do some JavaScript game development on there. Yeah, the engine that we are going to start with is Phaser. But I'm kind of open to suggestions and stuff, but I'm going to start with Phaser. We'll go through some tutorials and cool stuff and build something. That's the goal of this stream too. This, of course, being my personal stream, is we're going to build a game as soon as we all learn to build stuff with Unity. I might modify the heck out of this game. I don't know. So this isn't really working. So hot. Let's see. Let's rotate this. I might just do a rotate and dump it in there. Yeah, this is Unity is what I'm using right now. And I have tons of ideas, but I need to... Yeah, I also bite off way more than I can chew. Always. But I have lots of ideas. I just need to actually come up with the skills required. So that's part of what we're working on today. Learning some Unity. One of the best ways for me is to go through tutorials just enough to get dangerous and then just start building. That's my learning style. That's exactly what I did today. But for me, it's just like get the tutorials to get the basics down and just start tinkering. So that's what I'm going to do today. We're now in the tinkering phase. This, I've really painted myself into a corner here. It comes out here. I think I'm just gonna have to take both of these. We're just gonna have to get more runway. Which is problematic because we're on a time limit here. So the more track I add, the harder it's going to be to make that time. But at least it'll be a challenging game, right? See, I'd like to make just a hairpin that whips around right there. Would make life so much easier, right? I have never gone this far into modifying this kart game, but it's fun. Oh yeah, I could rescale. Good point. That would thin up the road. Like the road would get thin, but I think I can scale it pretty pretty good. And this looks out of proportion. Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, I could just make it real narrow. Two segments, scale them on one axis, you can make that part narrow. Yeah. Let's see, scale this. It's, yeah. This is going to be interesting, so you're going to have to get into that little gate. But it's fine. I don't want the game to be too easy. Make it so if you hit there, you're screwed and you got to turn around and you'll run out of time. I think for good game design, you have to love the player, right? You've got to just really think of the player as you're building it, and you have to love them, for lack of a better word. Try to give them the best experience while torturing them at the same time, right? So you have to, like, that's what I think good game design is about. My favorite games out there, I feel like the designers love me but want to torture me at the same time. Without any serious amount of torture, the game gets boring super quick. So this is the part where I am torturing the player to try to make them zip and fit into that little thing. If you use a corner and only scale it in one dimension, yeah, it does. When I make it wider like that, then we can't get that curve. But I actually kind of like the idea of it going from 2 lanes into 1. The corner and set the X scale to 1. I see what you mean. And then X wide one and this one. That still looks pretty difficult. I think it is too big. That's all right. Yeah, I think I'll go with the original idea. 2 lanes into 1. Oops. I'll at least try to make it easy to transition into that lane, however. Now you have a track that's 0.5 wide. Yeah. There we go. We'll make it exactly 0.5 wide. Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. As an obstacle. That makes things pretty tricky. Then I'll have to take this. And I should be able to scale this in a way that makes sense. We'll give them a nice wide angle there, maybe, to race around that corner. One thing I think I'm going to do on here when I do start to build a game, I think I'm going to start with a 2D platformer or something. 3D adds fun, of course. 3D games are way fun, but also adds a lot of complexity that a beginning game developer probably shouldn't worry too much about. Well, this thing had a pretty good bump in it. All right. There we go. Take that bump out. And then we should have one more little piece of road, and we're back to the finish line. So I'm gonna have to scale that. Grab this little piece of road here. Slide it over. Rotate, around, move again, move again. As ropey as this track has gotten, I don't know if I even really care that this thing's cobbled together like this, because we're already in a kind of a sad spot anyway. Let's see, like this, and that should dump it right into there. Let's try it. This last part's gonna be fun. Let's see if we can do this in the allotted amount of time. Man, I think I gotta move the checkpoints. Going up through here, up over our hill. Still got plenty of time. Now we're starting to go into this downhill stuff. We got another tree that I forgot to remove, and then whoa, jeez. And that bump is more significant than I thought it was. So that will have to be fixed. So going back in here. Alt. Yeah, it doesn't look like much here, but it definitely is. Now I know the trick. When my screen doesn't move the way I want, is frame something and then do it again. All right. I was looking for a snap to. There is a snap to function, but I was looking for it, and the documentation pointed me towards something that doesn't exist anymore, so it needs to be updated. But I wanted to snap it to the plane. But that's something that we can look up here in a minute. Again, I'll search and see if we can snap. I feel like we need even more obstacles in here after all this, but forgot to get rid of that tree. Still got a bump in there. Can I make it? Nope. So how on earth is there a big lift bump there and it's too low somewhere else? So here we want to take this down to like here. Then we got to rotate this so that there's, there we go. Go up, 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 and then maybe rotate back a little bit. Yeah, I think it's just gonna have to be like a little bit of a ramp. Let's see. Maybe 0 at the y-axis. Which makes this looks like there's still a little bit of a, yeah, a little bit of a bump there. That puts it at -15. Let's see, if we put this y at 0. That actually puts it below the plane a little bit, which is weird. And I'd like to, I'm going to scale this out a little bit anyway. Please note, I know nothing. Same. I am a complete beginner with this stuff. There's some stuff that should make sense to me that doesn't, and vice versa. Okay, that looks pretty flush. Then I'm going to have to go over here and do a little rotation so that we don't have so much of a curb here. Or maybe just bring it down a notch, like not like that. Let's try that. This is a long track now. I've definitely succeeded in adding a lot more track. That's a pretty rough bump. Now we really got to slow down here towards the end. There we go. At least we can get on there. We can get on there. Objective completed. So I didn't add so much track that it's impossible. Though that would have been more fun. We'll make it. But at least we got to slow down. There's a tree in there that I need to remove. Oh, and here we are again with the scrolling problem. F. And this, now I can move and pan. That's so dumb. Next week I'll probably be doing this in Linux. Just saying. And I might do green screen so that I might just do Twitch only so that I don't have this chat that's up above my head. And then I might do a green screen so that you can see even more of the screen on there. Haven't decided yet. Let's take this jump and put this jump somewhere up here on top where it will be an obstacle. So I got rid of that tree. But yeah, we need some more obstacles. So let's grab this ramp, copy, paste, zip. And where should we put this ramp? I say F to frame it. I'd say putting one up here would be pretty cool. Rotate it. Because yeah, that's this way you either have to go on the ramp or oops, there we go. With this, you'll either have to go on the ramp and jump it and try your luck, or go around it. Either way, it's gonna slow you down from getting that perfect time. Let's make sure there's no curb on it. That's one problem that we've had with the ramps is let's try like 0.4, nope, 0.3, 2, 5. Looks about right. All right, let's try that. So far today we've done karting game stuff. Went through those tutorials, just fun. Now we've done all these different moves. Now Unity doesn't want to play. There we go. Did all this track add-on stuff. I feel like we've accomplished a little something towards learning Unity game programming. Go through here. It's not too much jump. I can see the jump hanging out of the bottom there. And I'm going to try my luck. Oof. See, that's exactly what I wanted. It's something that's going to make it a little more difficult to make that time. I'll put another one in here, and then I can make the cart a little bit faster. So it'll be easier to, you know, if you go faster, you have a better chance of making it. But we'll put obstacles in there to slow you down. This will be a fun game. I think I'm going to publish this thing too. I'll probably publish it on jeremymorgan.com. And so people can play it and goof around. we've got to jump here. I think I'm going to move it just a little bit. Like that. So that doesn't completely crash you every time, but I need to do some rotation on this. So that's flush. And it's got a little more pitch to it now, so good luck with that. Okay, so we've got this one here. Let's take it, copy, paste. Oh, keep hitting that stupid button. We're going to go over here. Spin it around and do the same sort of thing here, where you have a jump that could possibly screw you up. And I'm not even on the road yet, am I? Okay, and this could possibly screw you up. Let's give it a little more flush. Let's see what that's like. Oh, and the cart, we want to make the cart a little bit faster. So I'm going to go up here. We're going to go to Cart Classic Player. We're going to make our top speed 25. An acceleration curve. Actually, I don't know how acceleration curve works yet, but I think the higher it goes, the faster it accelerates. Let's go like 0.7. And then we'll see how the performance of the cart goes. Yeah, it's good acceleration. I want to get the cart to a point where it hits that jump and you barely make the checkpoint. There we go. So I'll hit that a little bit faster next time I go through as I get better at it. We're doing great on time because we've got a little more cart performance. Whew. That screwed me up, cost me some time. Let's see if I can make up for it in here. Yeah, definitely need to make this harder because, yeah, I had 23 seconds left to go. So, we need to make that a little bit harder. What can we do? We can make the jumps not optional. That's one thing we can do. So I'm going to take this jump here, and we're going to scale it, since we learned about the scale function today. Now you have no choice but to do this, and we're going to make it a little more there. I'm a jerk. Now that should mess us up pretty good. I'll probably do that with this other jump too. Make this other jump not optional. You gotta do the jump. Oof. Gotta start over. Here's a level idea. All right, I'm listening. I said, you gotta love the player. You know, like good authors say, you have to love the reader of your book. Game design, I think you need to love the player and want to torture them. There we go. So that didn't affect my time. That probably might have even helped it a little. And now I have to go through this. But that wasn't too bad. So I'll have to increase the pitch a little bit. Ooh, I almost, even though I knew that was there, I almost crunched it. Here's a level idea. You have pieces with missing walls. Make a piece where the correct path is through the hole in the wall, and going forward on the track ends in a wall. No, honestly, that doesn't make sense. Let me think this through here. You have pieces with missing walls. The correct path is through the hole in the wall. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Like you have to find like a missing guardrail. But I'm not really sure how to break these things apart. That's what I'll have to figure out, is how to break these apart. And put a missing one. Yeah, so you go down the track and then all of a sudden there's a wall and it's like, oh crap, got to turn around. Yeah, that's a good idea. So that's what I mean, like torturing the player to make it fun. I think that is a fantastic idea. I think it's really cool that Unity gives us this little micro game here to play with so many options. So this one, I wanted to pitch it up a little bit. Let's make this jump more significant. Like quite a bit more significant. Longer, and there we go. Some pitch like that. It's really going to throw you off. And then let's go to our other jump here. This one. And let's make it not optional. Like you have to do it. And this will be a fun way to make things interesting. Yeah, so there's all those things that you can change your acceleration and top speed. And I was thinking about that also. A boost is a great idea. Like, kind of like Mario Kart, you know, where you run over something and it gives you some extra power. I think that'll be something that we will look into. I think, you know, if people on the stream really like it and enjoy it, I think I might focus some time on modifying this kart game, and we'll see how cool we can make it. And we'll give it away for free, since Unity gave us this game for free. I think it only sounds right to modify it and then make it a free game that people can play on their PC or mobile device or whatever. I think I can export this for mobile. I'm not really sure. I know you can do like WebGL for browser-based games, and I don't know. We'll look into that. That's going to be a part of it. This would probably be fun to play on an iPad or something. And we've got about 10 minutes left on our stream today. Oh, that was screwy. I don't know what happened there, but I think there's some weird collision detection. Just lost a bunch of time. And the checkpoints actually add to your time, so I need to move those checkpoints into some better positions. Oh, good gosh. So this one isn't happening today. Looks like I gotta start over again. Yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater was so fun. I was never even much of a skateboarder as a kid. I mean, I did for a while, but I was more of a BMX kid. I was super into BMX. But Tony Hawk Pro Skater was so fun. Kind of like Cool Borders. That's a snowboarding game. I was never big on snowboarding either, but I played Cool Borders on PlayStation like crazy. That was such a fun game. Oop. Well, look at that. I just took a shortcut. But now I didn't even know you could do that. That's some freaking Tony Hawk Skater stuff right there. Inlines. Great way to break your ankles. Yeah, I tried inline skates for when I was younger, and now I'm too big of a guy to do it, but when I was younger I was just tall and skinny. And I tried inline and I just wasn't coordinated enough for it. Do the scroll. Kick flip the cart. Heck yeah. Alright, let's do something else here. Let's increase this a little, just a tiny bit. There we go. And then, that's right, I was going to move a checkpoint. Because these checkpoints are just too close together. So we could move it over here, and that gives us a little bit of time in case you get screwed up around here. We can move the checkpoint to like right here. Why is it not visible? Once again, I think I'm a little disoriented. There we go. Bring this up. We want this to mostly be around the track, of course. So that should work. So you got to jump. Let's put it here. You got to jump and still make it through the checkpoint. There's a checkpoint. I think it gives you 10 seconds or something. I don't even remember. Then we go ripping through here. Oh. If I had enough power, I could jump up over that wall again. But I just don't. Yeah, so this stream, we went through a couple tutorials to learn a few things. Then we modified the heck out of this using what we learned. And it's been pretty fun. Going around and round and round. There we go. So you just have to slow down and take it easy. That's the key on that one. Same with this one. See, and then we got our checkpoint. And if you go too hard on that, or you give it too much throttle, which we're gonna boost the performance of the cart so it's more tempting. I could put one where the track gets tight. Like, could put, yeah, because this one's right at this checkpoint's right at the very end. So it could, yeah, let's move it. What the heck, why not? Actually, I kind of like it there where you have to jump and get through it. But maybe what I need to do is learn how to code more checkpoints. So we got this one, and they all have to be triggered in an order. Ah. Although not on the track should be lava. That would be cool. So if you go off the track, your tires blow. And then you're screwed. All right, so we're going to up the top speed a little bit. We're going to up it to 35. That's going to make things more exciting. Coasting drag, let's bring that down too, so that when you let off the throttle, you have to use the brakes a little bit. Let's try it. And we've only got 2 minutes left in the stream. And then we're going to go visit Mr. David Neal. Someone that actually knows how to build games is going to be building games on the next stream. Fun times. There we go. That's kind of fun, right? This does become a little harder with the better top speed. It's a little bit harder to control the cart. And then that coasting speed, when I let off, it doesn't immediately slow down. So it makes it a little trickier, though I do think I can complete this so long as I stay on the track. So did you see the demo of Blazor Unified? I did not. Using Blazor, they generate pure HTML views, like MVC eraser pages, and have other pages that are full SPA. You can build things in Blazor and have some behave like a normal site for SEO, and others behave like a SPA for the interactive parts. I have not seen that, but I have to check that out, because that sounds really, really cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. And that is called Blazor Unified, huh? I'm going to look at that. I'm not sure how I was out of the loop on that, but I did. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I wasn't aware it even existed. All right, so we're going to play one more time. Let's run it one more time. It probably is super new, but I could also just be behind times, which sometimes I am. I think it'd be fun to develop games in Blazor, but I don't really know how like it would have to generate to WebAssembly, which is like what a lot of this stuff does. Like a lot of this Unity stuff uses WebAssembly. But WebAssembly games is where it's going to be at as far as browser-based games. Which I don't even know if there's much of a market for browser-based games like there used to be. I think now it's like mobile for nearly everything, desktop for high performance stuff or stuff you want on a big screen. But I don't know if anybody's really playing games in a web browser anymore. Oh, United, not Unified. No more Black Sheep, yeah. Probably not a lot of browser games. This might be a browser-based game. I might put this on my blog, like I said, so people can play it, try it out without downloading anything, and then come back with suggestions. I can tell you it already needs to be harder than it currently is. This is not difficult enough for most people. Still got 29 seconds left. All right, so we are going to we're going to go hang out with David Neal. So now what we're going to do is raid the Pluralsight stream. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Thank you, Thindle, for making interesting chat again. And yeah, we're going to jump right into more gaming, except this gaming is going to be JavaScript gaming instead of Unity. And it's going to be somebody that knows what they're doing, who has built JavaScript games before. I think he's building a trivia game. I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to find out. Once again, thank you everybody for coming. And let's go hang out with David Neal.